Okay, I'm back. Where are we at here? So if marijuana was legal, my mom would still be smiling. I know she would be. But from heaven is kind of worth it to me too. Um, Someone put fentanyl in her marijuana because she can't get it legally here, and she battled with bipolar disorder her whole life, was suicidal, and marijuana ended up killing her because of fentanyl. And it's just sad. You've got the fireman who had to pick between two kids to save, the policeman who had to kill, the veteran who wiped out a village with a push of a button, who now lives in the homeless village because of it. And this stuff just has to stop. Um, oh yeah, I heard a story of a paramedic who was forced to let one die who's in more need because of another who abuses the system and calls 911 too much. So a child has to die because the older person, decides to need attention and calls 911. It's like they can't even. They're forced to do things a certain way, and they make decisions, and they just wish they could do it the other way, and they bring that grief home with them, and it sucks. um, so yeah, this stuff needs to end. You got to start it sometime, and I think we should start it now, and obviously finish it in future generations. But I just don't want any more suffering in my town, and it's everywhere too, I mean, all over America. Next one is weed. Um, Weed is very therapeutic to most people that use it. Therapeutic. It's like a medicine. It is medicinal most places now, it seems like. But it's also scary to some and misunderstood to others. I know for a fact my mom would still be with us if it was legal. I also know that marijuana is everywhere in our city right now, everywhere. I mean, and they're getting it from Michigan. So our money is being shipped from Green Bay to Michigan, and that's a huge budgetary error in my opinion. I mean, a weed tax combined with recreational legalization would boost the economy, remove a cloud of anxiety over all the populace that uses marijuana and has to worry about hiding it. And you go to LA, you go to New York, you go to some of these places, and everybody's just smoking weed. And not everybody, but everybody that does like to smoke is having a blast right out in public. And it's just amazing how different you look at. When I walk down south, it's like I walked across one line in the road, and all of a sudden I'm in a different state, and it's completely illegal or it's legal. And it's like I didn't even know what was going on. I just for a plant that's so effective, makes no sense to me not to let people make their own decision on it. You know, America, home of the free and brave and all that. But it would take one more stupid law off the books that the police have to enforce. And the judicial system too. And I'm sick of having to have to watch police enforce stupid laws. And I'm sure they're hating it too. They didn't sign up for this. Their gig to bust people for marijuana that are sitting out in the corner just trying to chill out. They signed up to save lives. They've signed up to help people, and that's just counterintuitive, if you ask me. The medicinal implications are tremendous. Like mood stabilizers, their strains and doses can be controlled with a much larger spectrum of options to search for the dose that works great. I'm convinced there's a perfect option out there for everyone. In my experience, it's a giant painkiller. I didn't even take an Advil on my trip, and everything hurt all day. But I was smoking everywhere I went. I didn't even have to pay for it. I just asked some nice guy, like, "Hey, man, you got any bud?" He's like, "Sure, here you go, man. Thanks, it hurts." And then I smoked, and nothing hurt anymore, and ideas would just flood into my head out of like a boom, bunch of ideas on how to survive or what to do next or whatever. It was like a focus button. It can be powerful, I think, especially if you get that right strain. You got your indicas, you got your sativas. Sativas are more like a brain stimulant kind of thing, and indicas, like a friend of mine said, that means you're into couch. You're just it's a muscle buzz. You don't want to move, and you're just numbing whatever stress you're going through that day. And I think all those things are great. If you want to stimulate your mind to, I remember in college, there's this guy, he'd smoke marijuana and just go weld in this garage for hours. Just work on a car for hours. And it's okay, guys. It's okay. No one ever hurt anybody because of marijuana, really. Not that I know of. And I couldn't even feel my feet anymore. I had blisters all over the place. My back was shot. My knees were shot. And it just kept me going. So that's marijuana in my point of view. I'd like to fight to legalize it, at least in our city, if I can. I know there's state ordinances and national laws and all that, but at least we can propose. I mean, go stronger for it. Get this wheel moving. We've got to catch up to everybody else. All right, now this one's a cure for cancer. This is purely theoretical. I've been in the theoretical physics for a while lately, and came up with the idea. So it's similar to lawn aeration, if you know what that means. You punch a hole in your lawn, the plug comes out, it creates a hole, and then that takes out all the thatch that's in there and that allows the grass to come in not so dense. It's not so hard packed. Um, so you punch a tiny, so similar to lawn aeration, you punch a tiny microscopic radiation, like I don't know if it's gamma rays or whatever, or what rads or I'm not a doctor, but the hole punching effect of radiation, and I'm not talking nuclear radiation, that's bad, that's very bad. But there's definitely different types of radiation, like UV radiation. Radiation just basically means it radiates out in all directions, right? But you want the one that it's like a million little holes that get shot through your body, right? They're very tiny, and then the new cells will regrow in its place. So you might kill regular cells, which are old, but you also kill cancer cells. And then the regeneration is basically just cells healing. It's healing. You kill it, you heal it. Kill it, heal it. And my idea would be to use time dilation, which I don't want to explain right now because it's complicated. But if you listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson, listen to him on time dilation. It's basically someone goes at a certain speed compared to another person. Time travels at different speeds as well. So I'm picturing a big track where somebody would walk around, right? On half of the track is radiation. On the other side of the track is a time dilated recovery part. So the recovery part lasts longer. So by the time you come back around the track again, maybe you're somewhat healed, and then you get another radiation treatment, and the cancer just gets smaller and smaller as you go around. Or it's like it's a simple idea, and I think there's got to be a solution to curing cancer. And cancer is just an overly active mutating cell that just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger until it's a tumor, and then obviously it gets worse and worse. And since the radiation is all encompassing, you basically have new organs over time. Like your organs are regenerated. You kill a bunch of it, fix it, kill a bunch of it, fix it. So eventually that those cells are all new. Yeah, it's hard to explain, but I think it's possible. And for doctors, I just want doctors to consider it. So real quick on educational reform. I mean, if it's possible, even possible at the city level, I don't know, but I'd like to see less blanketed teaching. Like you're teaching all the kids the same, a textbook, and there's a lot of information in a textbook that you don't need. Like let's specialize it. So more laser focused, specialized teaching. And I also like to see teaching credit building, money management, lending, emotional intelligence, relationship building, self-esteem, logical deduction, and fighting with words. It's okay to fight, just not with your fists. Use your words, use your thoughts. Otherwise, if you can't win that fight, then don't fight at all. And I could go on more about education, but I got to write some more down. Veterans. There's still too many veterans that are left behind when they come home. I think we need a suicide squad or a suicide sponsor group, which is basically dozens of veterans that have either been through depression. That headset falls out all day long. Um, so maybe we have like a dozen guys that are cool that just talk people out of depression, other veterans. Um, and they're just available to help any brother in need through phone calls or Zoom meetings or whatever. I think that's one way to help those guys, but there's tons of ways we can help those guys that are sad with suicide, and the guys get started. I think the VA seems pretty good around here, in this area especially, but plenty of top tier equipment isn't really covered under the VA plans. Like hearing aids aren't covered. I mean, a lesser product would be covered, but I think vets deserve the best, in my opinion. I met a 90-some-year-old World War II veteran in Central Park, New York. He couldn't even hold a normal conversation because he couldn't hear what anybody was saying. I felt so bad for him. I was typing out messages to him, and I'm like, and he'd read it, and he'd be talking about World War II. He was so proud of it, and then I just couldn't talk to him. He had to read it, and I felt really bad for him. He had hearing aids, but they weren't effective, and that's pretty sad, especially towards the end of the life for a guy. It's like he was a sweetheart of an old man. I got a picture of him somewhere, and it just broke my heart. I'm going to go into domestic violence and the current mental health system's inefficiencies later on. But basically, this post was just to announce my candidacy. I still haven't officially done it yet. I've got some paperwork to do. I'm going to meet with City Hall again next week, and Celestine's going to help me with the paperwork. And I need like 20 signatures, which I've already pretty much got. I just got to start over. So those are all people that have read some portion of this and want to be involved in future posts. So I plan on starting a new YouTube channel that's about running for government for the first time, local government. Because we can all bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch, but any 18-year-old who's breathing can essentially run for office. So why don't we start having young people do that again? You know, minorities and I mean, anybody can do it. And so I'd like to see a rush of people trying to get these positions in City Hall. And maybe they get success and maybe they rise up into politics or maybe they go into business afterward. Who knows? But I think it's beneficial to get as much fresh thinking as we can and, and promote the way the government is designed to work. I'm fully aware that people are going to attack me, and I've done a lot of crazy stuff. I've done most of it on purpose to gauge reactions and to gather data, I guess I would say. But I've done some off the wall stuff, and I can't wait to defend myself. I really can't. I've made some mistakes, obviously, but I've been working so hard at this. It's bound to make mistakes. I've stayed up for days at a time trying to figure out my next plan of action or whatever it might be, and I'm ready for the onslaught. See, what are some things that people are going to make fun of me about? Oh, I have a micro penis. It's tiny, it's super tiny. I mean, I don't know, super tiny, but who knows what a normal penis is anyway? Mine's not big. Mine's not porn star big. It's not. Maybe it's average, but probably small. And I don't care because it makes like Polish princesses squirt all over the place sometimes. So who cares, right? I let a gay guy blow me once too because I was thinking about the Polish princess still. Let's see. Got a lot of arguments with people. I've never been in a fist fight because I always somehow just deflected or I'm able to resolve conflict very well. And I think that's something we all should learn how to do. There's a lot of fist fighting going on out there. I mean, I've been sucker punched a bunch of times, in Miami especially. I got sucker punched 3 times there. Out of nowhere. Didn't even see it coming. Out. Then I'm like looking up, I'm like, which one of y'all hit me? It's like Chris Tucker out there. He was awesome. Um, it didn't even hurt. Like I got punched hard enough to get knocked out. Oh, I got knocked out in jail by three giant black guards because I was just giving them the business about the Constitution so bad. There's 80 guys in Miami, 80 black guys sitting there trying to sleep. Like I don't know if I can do it. I can't do it. My shirt won't do it. But basically, it's so cold in there, and they have you rows of eight, 10 rows of eight, and you have to sleep standing, sitting up. You eat nothing but bologna. It's because the jails are so full they can't even get you into jail. They have to put you in this holding part. And I was getting so pissed off at the way the guards are treating these kids with no respect that I just stood up and said, "That's not how you're supposed to do it. That's cruel and unusual. Like, what the hell is going on around here?" I'm just started yelling and yelling, and then finally they're like, "We're gonna kill you." Like, no, you're not. They come with us. The three giant guys brought me into the shower, put me up against the wall, and then one of them hit me, and I went down, and I just looked up. I'm like, "Okay, guys, you win." And then they brought me back. I think they wanted me to fight back so they could hurt me bad. And that's the one place there's no cameras in the shower, right? So I don't know. It's just I've been through so much. I have so many good stories. Um, I can't wait to share them. So I'll do that YouTube channel for how to run for government, and then I'll use Facebook as like my funny page because that's kind of what Facebook is good for these days. There's not really any good arguments going on there. It's basically for children, I think. I think Twitter, the old Twitter, which is now X, will be the platform that I use the most for social media. I love what Elon Musk has done with it. I love the AI that's built into it. You can ask it anything. It's basically Chat GPT inside Twitter. Um, and I think it's a great tool for uh, people that are sad or going through depression. You can just talk to a computer about all the ways to make yourself feel better, and it'll tell you all the things that humankind have come up with. And just try one until you dig yourself out of depression. But Twitter is also great for, or X is also great for free speech. I don't think you can get kicked off for swearing. Like, go ahead and swear and call me names. You can attack me all you want, guys. Just keep it coming. But know that the goals are more important. So if I have to fight you off through words, I'll do it. But I really like everybody to just get on board and help me make my ideas better, make our city better, make our county better, make our state better, and make our country better. So that's why I'm doing all this. That's why I've worked so hard the last, 5 years. I'm just, I've seen enough suffering. I saw it with my mother every day. As a kid trying to figure out why she's sad. And I met a guy today. It broke my heart again. He's talking about how he's got a little bit of autism. He's got a little bit of this, a little anxiety, this, and I'm like, and he says he's got really bad depression sometimes. It just hits him out of nowhere. And I'm like, well, how do you explain that? He's like, I don't know, man. It just comes. I'm like, well, there's got to be some kind of trigger, right? And he told me, I'm like, well, what was your parenting like? And he's like, well, my mom kind of used me as a punching bag all the time. And I'm like, well, there you go. So she's pushing you into the ground over and over. And your self-esteem goes down all the way, right? And then I asked him, what are you proud of about yourself? And he's like, you had nothing. I'm like, well, I'm proud of you. You're the best at your job in this area that I've seen. And he's like, huh? And I'm like, yeah, dude, your demeanor, your emotional intelligence, your generosity, your compassion, your empathy is through the roof compared to other people in your field. I don't want to throw the field under the bus, but this guy was very impressive to me, and he didn't even know it, you know. So he's been programmed that he's worthless, and it's sad, and then he gets suicidal, and it's like, why? Because your mom yelled at you? Like, I get it. It sounds weird, but the brain is very programmable. I mean, so are dogs' brains. I mean, brain like he's a good guy. And I told him, hey man, I need a friend for when I get too high on like I get too excited. He needs a friend when he gets too low. Why don't we just be friends together and keep each other stable? you know. And I've been a lot better at keeping myself from getting too excited because then I make mistakes. So now I don't ever do that anymore. It seems like. So that's great. So I'll doctor this video up, slip some pictures up, and I feel like I'm gonna win. And I hope I win, and I hope I hope we turn the city around for the better. But I really don't like the direction it's going. I mean, our economy blows right now. I mean, downtown is like a dead zone compared to what it used to be when I was in high school or in college. Groceries are way too expensive. Pay isn't keeping up with the inflation on expenses. And housing's up, and it's all up. And we gotta do something about it. So yeah, so I don't know exactly what district I'm going to be in, but as soon as I get it all figured out, I'll put it in the YouTube channel. But for now, just know that I'm running. I've been talking to a lot of people in our city, and they seem excited about what I'm writing down. So hopefully, we can make some good change together and maybe show America that if we just put in the work, we can all do it together. And I hope that other people will join me in challenging current aldermans in City Hall. So that's why I wanted to make the YouTube channel. And Celestine at City Hall is so helpful. It's unbelievable. She's so intelligent. Like I asked her some very specific, difficult questions, and she just spouts off the answer like like it was nothing. Like she doesn't have to research anything. She just boom, 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 boom. I'm like, whoa, this girl knows what she's doing. So if you have any inclination at all on running, go see her. And I'm also gonna hopefully record our next meeting, which is gonna be a Teams meeting, and as long as she's okay with it, I'll post that too so people can see kind of how easy it is because it is pretty easy. There's a little bit of leg work into it, but my legs are strong, so I can do that part. And you can have a team of people to help you too. So have your buddies go around and anyway, that's enough talking. Let's get her done, guys. God bless.